Okay, now I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the camera app and the settings. So that was just really more about how to take pictures or how to think about your pictures when you're physically taking them. Now let's talk about how to use the camera. Okay, this is a phone picture, but again, most of these settings are on the iPad. Remember, I'm using the word portrait for those photos that are vertically up and down, but there's also what they call a portrait mode that the iPhone has. Some of the iPhones have, and then again, I don't know, I can't remember if all of our iPads in the district have it. So when I talk about portrait, I'm talking about pictures that are up and down. And then I may also refer to portrait mode, which is where they blur out the background. Okay, some of the options that you have on your phone or your iPad to take pictures is time lapse. Time lapse is where you would set your phone up and hit time lapse, and it takes pictures every, can't remember how many seconds it is, and I think you actually have some settings that you can do. And then basically what it does is when you're done with the time lapse, like let's say you're going to time lapse jumping jacks, it will just take several pictures of you while you're doing jumping jacks and then put it together in a really quick video. Slow-mo, of course, takes your the video of whatever you're doing and it slows it way down and gives you the opportunity to watch it really slow. Then there's video, which is just typical video. Photo, which is just to take a photo. Another cool thing is burst photos. So when you, let's say you're working with images that are moving, maybe it's a car moving or somebody running or something like that. If you use the burst photo, which basically all you do is tap and hold the camera button, and it will just take like as many pictures as when you're holding the button. And then when you let the button go, you will have that image in a burst, and you can actually go in and pick the photo that works best. I do that like when my kids are jumping in the pool or we're at a sporting event that I want to get a specific picture of. I will just take a burst of photos and then go back and pick the photo that I want from the burst. Again, we talked about portrait already. Remember, that one is only on certain phones. The square picture will just allow you to take a picture in a square format, but I'll tell you, I rarely use that option because I can crop any photo that I take into a square, so I don't feel the need to use that. Panorama is really great. You can get a landscape picture or a picture of a whole room by using Panorama. Basically, you're taking a picture really slowly and you're just scanning your phone across the whole area, and then it threads a picture together for you and puts it on your phone. Okay, flash versus no flash. I will tell you right now, I use flash very, very sparingly. The flash on a phone allows you to light up a dark area and get a picture, but it also creates red eye, and it also creates a very weird color of the subject that you're taking a picture of, and can actually really affect the look of the picture. Sometimes if I'm going to use it, I try to do a no flash picture first, and then I take a flash picture just to see if I needed it. And sometimes you do need it. Sometimes you do. But be aware that some people will get that red eye flash and you'll have to edit that. And then the color changes a little bit. I would even spend some time kind of messing around with that and see what you like better, or if you find certain situations where the flash works. But again, I use flash very, very sparingly. Live photos are great. I don't keep live photo on all the time, but sometimes I do. Instead of using the Boomerang app, I just use live photos because I'm going to show you in the in the Photos app, how you can make your very own boomerangs without having to do it in another app, just by using that live photo. So basically all it does is it takes a photo from like 3 or 4 seconds before you took the photo to 3 or 4 seconds after, and if you press and hold the image, you almost get like a little mini movie, and then what the phone does is it picks a great photo from that little mini movie. The timer is wonderful too if you're taking self-portraits or you are trying to do a large group and you're a part of the group. I use timer when I also like in the dark, like if I'm trying to take a photo that I know needs like that my hand is going to shake too much, I use the timer. There's a 3-second and a 10-second timer. And then this is, remember I was telling you at the beginning of the presentation that there are color effects right within your camera app. The button at the very top left has the 3 circles. If you tap on that after you've taken a photo or even before you've taken a photo, you can add filters right onto it. It has some of the same filters as Instagram and then some other really kind of cool portrait-y type effects that you might like to look at. My son loves the black and white image, but again, I would take all your photos regular and then go back and edit for the black and white or add the filter right on top because it can do both. And I would rather have a regular colored photo and then add my effects to it after than taking a photo in the effect. But again, up to you. I just wanted you to know that that was there right inside the camera app. It's really easy to zoom on your iPhone and your iPad. You just zoom right in using your gestures on your iPad and your phone. I also suggest that you use zoom sparingly too, because if I would physically move to the subject before I would zoom in. So the very first thing you should do is move to the subject. And then if you can't get any closer, but you need to, then you zoom. Or just take the picture and then crop the image based on what you wanted it to look like. Because every time you zoom, every little pixel that you zoom in makes the image just a little bit less crisp because it's taking some of the pixels away in order to get to the zoom. So use zoom sparingly. Always walk or get closer to the subject. And if you can't, then take the picture and then crop in. There's also a really cool focus light that you can do on your phone, and this is something I would naturally show you in the presentation, but if you open up your camera and you realize that you want something to be where the aperture like looks at the lighting, if you tap on that subject or that area, it will change the lighting. So the reason I would say that is sometimes like if you're taking a picture and there's light in the background, like it's like a really bright space, if you physically touch the subject, it will stop focusing on the light that's behind it and make it a little bit lighter or darker. And then if you tap somewhere back behind the subject, it can darken the whole picture for you. So mess around with that. So basically all you do is get ready to take your picture and then tap on the subject that you want the lighting to focus on, and then it might adjust your lighting for you. If you're taking a bunch of pictures and you're kind of tired of tapping on the subject every 5 seconds, you can tap and hold on that subject and it will actually lock the light or the lighting until you stop using the camera or you turn it off by double tapping it. So those are really cool ways to kind of get onto your phone and your iPad and use the focus light. And then all you do is just turn on your camera and tap somewhere on the screen and the camera will do the rest. It will be like, oh, you want me to take the lighting off of that part of the picture, and it will tap and then change the lighting of the whole picture. So take a look at those. Those are really cool ways to change the effect of your image. In the settings app for the camera, you will see there's lots of different settings that you can change. I use the auto HDR, which basically the phone does for you is take pictures and then pick the best lighting possible and then put that on your phone. You can also change the recording size of your, like if you don't want to use the 4K, you can kind of put the quality down a little bit, and when you do that you get more space on your iPad or your iPhone to take more images and videos. You might want to test that out and see if what you like, but you can make all of those changes in the settings app on your iPad or iPhone. Okay, videos. This is like my favorite part of iOS 13. First of all, we talked about the slow-mo and the time-lapse and how you can speed up. So For instance, like what I've done in the past is I have recorded using time lapse a part of my son's soccer game, and then I'll stop the time lapse, and what it does is it takes all the time. So let's say I was quote unquote recording like a 2 minute um, portion of his game. It will shrink it down into like a 30-second clip and kind of speeds it up and makes it kind of fast. And then I can watch the same thing happen. Another example is like someone doing a cartwheel. Like you don't need to see that maybe in regular time mode, but you can speed it up a little bit. You can use time lapse. I've also recorded like an event where people are coming and going, and I've just put it on time lapse, and then it will record the 30-minute event and then give me like a 2-minute video of the whole event of people walking around and doing those types of things. And then of course slow-mo is really great too. A really good cool thing that the Apple has done for us is created an image picture button while you're recording video. I don't think this works on the iPad unless they updated it in iOS 14, and I haven't checked. But when you're recording video, you can also, there's like a little white button pops up in the top right-hand corner. You can tap that button while you're recording video, and it will physically take pictures of your video. I use this all the time. So if I'm taking a video of my son playing baseball and I'm watching him hit the ball, I will take a video of him hitting the ball, but I will snap like 2 or 3 pictures so that I have an image and a video of the event, and it's really great. Okay, now that you have spent time learning angles and lighting and things like that, now it's time to spend some time just looking at the camera app and experimenting, using the effects, using the time lapse, using the different modes and flash and all the different things. So go ahead and spend some time taking photos and using the different parts of the camera app. Then come back for part 4, where we'll go into the Photos app and experiment with the editing tools.